Welcome to Mastermind Conversations, a Pro Insights podcast, powered by Geek in New York, where we don't just talk, we geek it. We break down complex topics, research from trusted sources, and bring your expert insights, real-life stories, and actionable tips, all in a clear and engaging way. So get ready, it's time to geek it with Mastermind Conversations.
Hey everyone, and welcome to The Deep Dive. Today we're diving deep into a topic that's become super relevant here in LA. The rise of smart locks.
Yeah. You know, it's fascinating to see just how popular they've become.
It really is. I mean, you see them everywhere now. But there's a lot more to these smart locks than meets the eye.
For sure. It's not just about the convenience factor, though. That's definitely a big part of it.
Absolutely. But before we get into all the cool tech and features, I think it's worth taking a step back.
Okay, I like where you're going with this. What do you have in mind?
Well, to really appreciate the smart lock revolution, we need to understand the evolution of locks themselves, right?
You're absolutely right. It's like anything else, you gotta know the history to appreciate the present.
So let's take a quick trip back in time, shall we? I'm talking centuries ago when locks were a whole different ballgame.
Oh yeah, we're talking about those early warded locks.
Warded locks. Those sound pretty ancient.
They were. Imagine a key having to navigate a maze to unlock the door. That's essentially how they worked.
So like a puzzle for your key. But I'm guessing those weren't the most secure locks in the world.
You got it. They were fairly easy to bypass. But then came a major breakthrough in the 1850s. Linus Yale Sr. and his invention of the pin tumbler lock.
Oh yeah, I've heard of those. That's like the lock design we still use today, right?
Pretty much. Yale's pin tumbler lock was revolutionary. It was a truly secure design that could also be mass-produced.
So my front door lock is like a descendant of this 19th century invention. It's pretty mind-blowing. But if these pin tumbler locks are so secure, how do locksmiths, like our friends at LA City Locksmith, get people back in when they're locked out?
That's where the art of lockpicking comes in.
Lockpicking. Okay, now we're talking. It's always seems so mysterious, like something out of a spy movie.
Well, there's definitely a skill to it. It's used by security professionals to test vulnerabilities, and unfortunately by criminals too. It's a whole fascinating field with its own history of tools and techniques.
Okay, you've piqued my curiosity now. Is it as tricky as it looks in the movies?
It takes a good amount of skill and precision for sure.
Yeah.
Early lockpicking tools were pretty basic, but they've evolved into all sorts of specialized devices. You've got picks for different types of locks, tension wrenches to apply torque, and even automatic pick guns.
Wow, automatic pick guns. Sounds intense.
It can be. But it all comes down to understanding how those traditional locks work and where their weaknesses lie.
And that brings us back to smart locks, right?
Yeah.
They're like a whole new level of security.
Exactly. But before we get into all that, I do want to take a moment to thank our sponsor for this deep dive, LA City Locksmith.
Oh, absolutely. They're the local experts right here in LA who can help you make sense of this whole smart lock world.
For sure. Whether you're thinking about getting a smart lock installed or just want to learn more, they're the folks to call.
Their number is 323-955-2411. Definitely check them out if you're in the LA area.
So now back to smart locks. What's driving this huge shift towards them in a city like LA?
Well, I think a big part of it is the LA lifestyle itself. It's fast-paced, people are always on the go. Smart locks offer that keyless convenience you just can't beat in a bustling city.
It's true. No more fumbling for keys when your hands are full of groceries. You can unlock your door with your phone, a code, or even your fingerprint.
Talk about convenient. But let's be real, security is a top concern for everyone, especially in a city like LA. Are smart locks really safer than traditional locks?
That's the big question, right? And the answer is, it depends. A well-made, properly installed smart lock can absolutely enhance your home security.
Okay, that's good to hear. I'm all ears. How do they actually improve security?
Well, for starters, many smart locks have tamper alarms that'll go off if someone tries to force the lock. They also keep activity logs so you can see exactly who's coming and going.
So it's like having a security guard for your door.
Pretty much. And they can even integrate with home security systems for even more protection.
Wow, that's impressive. So if someone tries to break in, I'll know instantly.
Exactly. And that's a huge deterrent for burglars. They don't want to risk getting caught.
Makes sense. What about giving keys to people like dog walkers or house cleaners? That's always a bit of a hassle.
With smart locks, you don't have to worry about that. You can give temporary codes to guests, dog walkers, or delivery services and then revoke them just as easily.
So no more hiding a key under the mat. And I bet that's especially important in a city like LA, where where you might have people coming and going all the time.
Absolutely. It's about having that peace of mind, knowing you're in control of who has access to your home and when.
But with so many different smart locks on the market, how do you even choose the right one? It can feel overwhelming.
It definitely can. There are a lot of factors to consider.
Like what?
Well, things like the level of security, the type of connectivity features, and of course, your budget.
Okay, so it's not a one-size-fits-all situation.
Definitely not. That's why it's so helpful to have a local expert like LA City Locksmith to guide you.
They can help you sort through all the options and find the perfect lock for your needs.
Exactly. They've seen it all, and they know what works best in different situations.
So it's like having a smart lock consultant. That's pretty cool.
It is. And speaking of knowing what works best, remember those old warded locks we talked about earlier?
The ones that were like mazes for keys.
Those ones. Well, even though smart locks are super high tech, understanding those basic lock principles is still important.
Oh, I see what you mean. It's like you need to know the rules of the game before you can really play it.
Exactly. Those fundamental vulnerabilities haven't gone away just because we have fancy new technology.
So even though we're talking high tech, those basic principles of lock security still matter.
More than ever. And that's why the knowledge and expertise of a local locksmith like LA City Locksmith is so valuable. They understand both the traditional and the smart lock worlds.
They can bridge the gap between old school security and cutting edge technology.
Exactly. And they can assess your specific needs, recommend suitable models, and make sure the installation is done correctly.
That's key.
Yeah.
You don't want to compromise your security with a shoddy installation.
Exactly. So it's about finding that balance between the cool new tech and the solid foundations of good security practices.
Well said. This has been incredibly insightful so far. I feel like I'm already learning so much about smart locks.
We've just scratched the surface. There's a lot more to explore.
And we'll do just that when we come back after a quick break. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Before the break, we were getting into some of the nitty-gritty of smart lock security, and it's clear that having a trusted expert like LA City Locksmith on your side is crucial.
It really is. They can help you navigate all those technical details and find a lock that truly meets your needs.
So for those of us in LA who are ready to embrace the smart lock revolution, what are the key things to consider when choosing a lock?
Well, first and foremost, just like any lock security should be your top priority. Not all smart locks are created equal. Some offer much higher levels of security than others.
That makes sense. So how can you tell which ones are the most secure? You want to look for locks that meet industry standards and have features like tamper detection, strong encryption, and multi-factor authentication. And of course, choosing a reputable brand is always a good idea.
Right. Those are all things LA City Locksmith can help you with, right?
Absolutely. They can break down all those technical features and explain what they mean in plain English.
That's super helpful. So security's number one. What else should we be thinking about?
Connectivity is another big one. Do you want a lock that connects via Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, Z-Wave, or a combination of those? Each option has its pros and cons.
Yeah, we touched on that earlier. Bluetooth seems like the simplest option, but it has a limited range, right?
That's right. With Bluetooth, you need to be pretty close to the lock to control it with your phone. It's fine for everyday use, but it won't let you control the lock remotely.
So if I'm at work and I need to let someone into my house, Bluetooth isn't going to cut it.
Nope, not really. For that, you'd want Wi-Fi connectivity. That gives you the power to control your lock from anywhere as long as you have an internet connection.
Ah, I see. So I could unlock my door for a delivery person even if I'm miles away.
Exactly. And you can even get notifications sent to your phone whenever someone enters or leaves your house.
That's pretty amazing. Talk about peace of mind.
Yeah.
Especially in a city like LA where you never know what's going on.
It's a game changer for a lot of people. And then there's Z-Wave, which is another wireless protocol often used in smart home ecosystems.
Z-Wave. Okay, that one's new to me.
It's known for its reliability and low power consumption, so it's a good choice for battery-powered smart locks.
Got it. So if I'm already using a smart home hub and I want to integrate my lock into that system, Z-Wave might be the way to go.
Exactly. It allows for seamless communication between your lock and other smart devices in your home. You could set up automations where your lights turn on and your thermostat adjusts when you unlock the door.
Now that's what I call a smart home. It sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It's the future, and it's happening now. And LA City Locksmith is helping people in LA make it a reality.
They're not just installing locks. They're helping people embrace this whole new world of smart home technology.
Precisely. They're like smart home guides. But Even with all the amazing benefits of smart locks, it's important to remember that they're still technology, and technology can have its downsides.
Well, that's a good point. We've been focusing on the positives, but it's always wise to consider both sides of the coin. What are some potential downsides to keep in mind?
Well, one concern is reliance on technology. What happens if your phone battery dies or your Wi-Fi goes down?
Oh, that's a good point. I'd hate to be locked out of my own house because my phone died.
Right. That's why it's so important to choose a smart lock that has backup options like a physical key override or a keypad entry.
So it's like having a plan B in case technology fails us. That makes a lot of sense. Are there any other potential downsides to think about?
Privacy is another one. Smart locks collect data about your usage patterns. They know when you lock and unlock your door.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. They need that information to work properly. But what happens to that data? Is it being shared or sold to third parties?
That's a crucial question to ask before buying a smart lock. Read the privacy policy carefully and choose a lock from a company that has transparent data practices and a strong commitment to privacy.
So it's not just about the security of the lock itself, it's also about the security of my data.
Exactly. And just like any connected device, it's important to keep your smart lock's firmware updated. Those updates often include security patches that protect your lock from evolving threats.
So it's kind of like keeping your computer's antivirus software up to date.
Precisely. Those updates help safeguard your lock against vulnerabilities. But even with those considerations, the benefits of smart locks are hard to deny. They're revolutionizing home security, offering convenience, control, and peace of mind that you just couldn't get with traditional locks.
And it seems like LA is really embracing this smart lock revolution. I mean, you see them popping up everywhere.
It's true. And companies like City Locksmith are playing a huge role in making this transition smooth and successful for homeowners. They're the trusted local experts who can guide you through the whole process from choosing the right lock to getting it installed properly.
They're like the smart lock gurus of LA. It's been an incredible deep dive so far. We've learned so much about the history of locks, the evolution of security, and the exciting world of smart home technology.
It's been a fascinating journey, and we're just getting started. When we come back, we'll wrap things up with some final tips and insights to help you make the best choices for your home and your lifestyle. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've been on this incredible journey exploring LA's smart lock revolution, and I gotta say, my mind is blown by all the possibilities.
It is pretty amazing how far lock technology has come, right?
It really is. But now I'm kind of wondering, with all these options, how do you actually choose the perfect smart lock for your needs? It's like, where do you even begin?
Well, that's where the expertise of a local locksmith like City Locksmith is invaluable. They can be your guide through this whole process.
So they're like smart lock matchmakers. I like that.
Exactly. They can help you figure out what features are most important for your home, your lifestyle, and of course, your budget.
Makes sense. So what are some of those key factors people should consider when they're shopping for a smart lock?
Well, just like with any lock, security should always be at the top of the list. You want to make sure you're getting a lock that truly protects your home.
Right, because not all smart locks are created equal, I'm guessing.
You got it. Some offer way more robust security features than others. Look for locks that meet industry standards and have things like tamper detection, strong encryption, and multi-factor authentication.
Those are some serious security measures.
They are. And a local locksmith, like City Locksmith, can help you understand exactly what those features mean and why they're so important.
Because let's be honest, most of us aren't security experts.
That's right. They can break it down for you and make sure you're getting the level of protection you need.
Okay, so security first and foremost. What else should we be thinking about?
Connectivity is another big one. We talked about Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and Z-Wave earlier, each with its own pros and cons. It really comes down to how you plan to use the lock.
Right, like if I want to unlock my door remotely, I'll need Wi-Fi or Z-Wave, right?
Yeah, exactly. Bluetooth is fine for everyday use if you're close to the lock, but if you want that remote access, you'll need something more powerful.
Got it. And if I want my lock to talk to my other smart home devices, Z-Wave is the way to go.
Exactly. It's all about choosing the connectivity that fits your lifestyle and your smart home setup. Once you've got the security and connectivity figured out, then you can start thinking about those cool extra features.
Oh yeah, now we're talking. Smart locks come with so many bells and whistles these days. It's kind of like being a kid in a candy store.
It is. But it's important to focus on the features that really add value to your life. A keypad entry is a great option. It gives you a backup if your phone dies.
Right, because relying solely on your phone can be a bit risky.
Definitely. And if you have kids, a fingerprint sensor can be super convenient. No more worrying about lost keys.
Oh, that's a good point. And I've seen some smart locks that even have built-in alarms.
Those can be a great deterrent for burglars. And some locks even offer voice control integration so you can lock or unlock your door with a simple voice command.
The future is now. It's amazing how much technology they can pack into these smart locks.
It is, but remember, not all features are created equal. Do your research, read reviews, and talk to an expert like LA City Locksmith. They can help you choose a lock that has the right features for your specific needs.
Because at the end of the day, it's all about making an informed decision, right?
Absolutely. And speaking of informed decisions, let's talk about installation.
Oh yeah, is that something people can usually do themselves? Or is it better to call in a pro?
Some smart locks are designed for DIY installation, but others can be a bit trickier. If you're not comfortable working with door hardware, it's always best to call a professional locksmith like LA City Locksmith.
They've probably seen every type of door and lock situation imaginable.
You bet. They have the experience and the expertise to make sure your smart lock is installed correctly and working flawlessly. That gives you peace of mind knowing your home is truly secure.
That peace of mind is priceless. So if you're in the LA area and thinking about getting a smart lock, LA City Locksmith is definitely the place to call. Their number is 323-955-2411.
Don't hesitate, reach out to them. They'll be happy to answer all your questions and guide you through the whole process.
Well, folks, this has been an incredible deep dive into LA's smart lock revolution. We've learned so much about the history, the technology, the benefits, the considerations, everything.
It's been a blast, and hopefully you've all learned something new and feel empowered to make smart choices about your home security.
That's what we're all about here at The Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us on this journey, and we'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration. Until then, stay curious, stay safe, and keep those doors locked.
That's a wrap for this episode of Mastermind Conversations, a Pro Insights podcast powered by Geek in New York, where we don't just talk, we geek it. We hope you gained valuable insights, learned something new, and are ready to apply it in business and life. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. It helps us bring you even more great content. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and always geek it.